The education system lied to you. They told you to go to school, to get a decent job, to work your way up through the ranks, retire at 65, and live the rest of your days out in peace. Because of that, millions of people around the world are living lives and working in jobs that are just okay. Kids who dreamed of being astronauts are now accountants. I was once one of these victims. A young boy who always wanted to be an entrepreneur turned into a financial analyst working 70 plus hours a week in the fixed income, currencies, and commodities sector of a big bank. Over the last few years though, I've joined the new world. I've transformed my life, built a geo-independent online business that lets me live on my terms, and I've helped hundreds of others around the world achieve the same results. In this video, I want to share all of my secrets with you. I've created an exact 3-step formula that will teach you how to radically transform your life so that who you are today can become who you've always wanted to be. My name is William Rossi. I'm the creator of Sprouht. To this day, Sprouht has 2.5 million followers online across all platforms. I teach people how to live a more fulfilling life. I've interviewed 1,000 strangers from over 35 different countries, and I'm just 24 years old. This sounds great, and to be saying this to you right now is mind-blowing. I can't believe it almost. But my life didn't start like this. 5 years ago, I was a student at McGill University in Montreal. I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I didn't know where to start. So what I did is I joined the most general business major I could think of, which was finance. When I got into McGill, I asked older students who the cool kids were, and all the signs pointed to the investment bankers and the consultants who are making over $100,000 a year on their starting salary once they graduated. On top of this, I would get 2 emails per week from my faculty inviting me to investment banking networking events. And my finance teachers told me behind closed doors that if I locked in a banking job, they would actually grade me better. I was a young sponge at this point. I was lost in life. I was coming off a lot of lost friendships, a cheating girlfriend, and all of these external factors I was now listening to at McGill were pointing towards this glorious life in a bank. So what did I do? I joined clubs, I built my CV, I applied for jobs, and eventually I secured a well-respected job at a top 5 Canadian bank in fixed income, currencies, and commodities. Does it sound as soul-sucking as it was? Absolutely. It was terrible. While I worked there, I was as unhappy as I had ever been in life. I remember seeing some of my friends during lunch breaks, and they kept asking me, "Will, what's wrong with you? You don't feel like yourself, you don't look like yourself, you don't seem like yourself. What's going on?" And the truth was, even though from the outside world, I was getting more respect than I ever had because I was making money, I was working in a prestigious job, all those external signs pointed towards me looking really good. Inside, I was as depressed as I had ever been. Now, after over a year of working in banks, something crazy happened. I was offered a full-time position to start working at a bank upon graduation, and that full-time position had a starting salary of 6 figures. I had essentially achieved coolness at McGill, yet I was as unfulfilled as I had ever been. In that situation, I knew I had only 2 choices I could make in life. Either I say yes, and I begin the rest of my life convincing myself that it was okay to trade my happiness for security, or I say no, and I have no idea what I'm going to do with my life, but 100% I will guarantee, I will promise to myself that whatever I end up doing, I will feel more fulfilled and more purposeful about it than this banking job. I declined that job offer. And literally the day after I declined that job offer, I took all my money that I made on that trip and planned a backpacking 5-week trip across Europe with my best friend. On that trip, I learned a very important lesson about life. The life that we're sold in the Western world is not the only way of living. It's actually very possible to create a life of freedom and adventure without having to sacrifice security. And I'll go one step further and say, after having worked in a job for 3 years and looking at all my friends who didn't decline their job offer and are still working in it right now, it's actually riskier to work in a job that you hate right now. Listen, most of us can't afford a home right now. We are getting replaced by robots and AI. We can get fired at any point, and because of the jobs we have, we don't have any diversified sources of income. I learned a very important lesson on my trip. Not taking a risk on myself might end up being the biggest mistake I'll ever make. So after that trip, when I got back to school and everyone asked me what I was doing with my life, I made sure to quit all my extracurriculars. I declined my job offer. I burned a lot of those bridges and decided to start new. I knew I couldn't pass up the opportunity that I had again. I knew that if I was going to create my ideal lifestyle, unlike what my banking path was teaching me to do, I had to build online. So let's fast forward a little. What does my life look like today? Well, right now I earn more than I did in my corporate job. I get to travel the world as much as I want. In fact, I'm recording this video right now from the mountaintops of the Himalayas in northern India because I can, because I want to, because it's available to me. I have total time, location, and financial freedom. I feel like I'm actually impacting the world, and I've proven to do this. I've helped hundreds of other people do the same thing. Let me give you a few examples. Yasmin quit the corporate job that she hated. She moved to Barcelona, her dream city, and started a digital career that now supports her full time.
I've been using the workbook for over 5 months now. I love this book because it allowed me to understand certain parts of my personality, but also come up with a clear vision of what I wanted for myself in different areas of my life. I wanted to quit my corporate job because it was such a stressful place to be. I wanted to move to Barcelona, my favorite city in the world, and perhaps start working with a life coach. As of today, I can honestly say that I've achieved these 3 goals that I had.
Will's a 25-year-old who left the finance world, took a risk on himself, started his dream business online, and he's now working with guys like the founder of Airbnb. And then there's Joe. Joe is an ex-accountant who always wanted to try entrepreneurship. He finally got to it, launched his acai bowl company, and was able to leave his job and go all in on his dreams. These are regular people doing incredible things, and the truth is, hundreds of other people have done the same, thousands of other people have done the same, I've done the same, and you can do the same too. These next 3 steps are going to outline exactly how you are going to do that. They're going to take you from where you are today to exactly where you want to be in an ideal life. Without knowing all 3, you will never be able to transform. So make sure you don't skip ahead and make sure you listen carefully, but also be very careful. Once you hear what you were about to hear, there is no going back. I'm about to open your eyes to the world of freedom. And once you do that, you'll have no choice but to take action on what you're about to hear. So let's just make sure that you are in the right position and that you are the right person listening to this video. If you feel unfulfilled in your life, like you're not living up to your potential, like you don't have time for the things and the people that you love, if you want more flexibility in your life, you want time, location, financial freedom, you want to make more money doing what you love, and you want to travel the world, I will teach you all of these secrets. I will teach you how to radically transform your life and gain the freedom that you've always deserved. But if you are going to keep talking about your dreams and never living them, and if you're not going to listen to this whole video with a lot of purpose, this is not for you. So now that we have that all taken care of, let's get into the 3 steps. So part 1. Create your ideal lifestyle. Now here's the thing. Most people design their lives around their careers, but successful people do the complete opposite. They design their careers around their ideal lifestyles. So once you understand what your ideal lifestyle is, you can then find a career that supports that lifestyle. And when I go back and I look at myself in a previous life, when I was in my finance job, on my banking path, in school, surrounded by people who didn't know what they wanted out of life, the message we were being pushed to believe was that our career was the most important thing to figure out, and then, only then, once we figured out that career, could we then find a life that supported it. But the truth is, and there is truth to it because I'm doing it right now and I've helped hundreds of others do the same, building your ideal life first and then finding a career that supports that is the most logical, the most sound, and the easiest way to achieve full freedom. So once you understand that ideal lifestyle, because again, most people don't understand it, you're going to be able to find a career that supports it. So here's how I would get started on doing that. I'd ask myself 3 key questions. And listen, if you know the answers to these 3 questions with 110% clarity, you will never ever feel stuck in life or feel unfulfilled again. These 3 questions are: who am I, what do I want, and how do I get what I want? So question 1, who am I? You have to know who you are and what's important to you. Skipping this step is basically like trying to sail somewhere without having an idea of how your ship works. If you don't know what drives you, what motivates you, and why you're going after your goals in the first place, what's the point? Once you know who you are, you'll feel much more comfortable in your own skin, and you'll stop doubting your ability to make big changes in your life. And that's the biggest key. If you can stop doubting yourself and start believing in yourself, then you will be able to do anything that you want. But you can't achieve that with 100% clarity and conviction unless you know exactly who you are. Question number 2, what do I want? Most people are never going to ask themselves this question in their lives. Even though it's very important, most people will not ask themselves this question. And the truth about not asking yourself this question is if you don't choose a vision for yourself, then you will be assigned one. If you don't choose a career for yourself, you will be assigned one. If you don't choose a lifestyle for yourself, you will be assigned one. If you're watching this, you can already understand how you have been assigned a career. You're working in a job you don't like, you're living a life that you are not fulfilled by. Somebody has assigned that for you. And now it's time to take control, ask yourself the important questions, and assign it to yourself. When I think back to myself, in the finance major back in college, the reason why I pursued that banking path was because that's what everyone told me that I should want. That's what all the cool kids were doing. Society was planning my future from the beginning before I even entered university, and they succeeded because I never asked myself that question. And I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I wanted. I ended up going down that path. It didn't make me happy. It was comfortable, it was safe, but not fulfilling. So one day, when I was working in the bank and I was really at one of my lows, I asked myself the question, finally, what do I actually want out of life? And asking myself that question made me realize that I wanted to build a business that genuinely helps other people from anywhere in the world, making exponential income on my own schedule. And I knew that working a job, no matter how prestigious that job was or how much money it made me annually, was not going to get me there. I had to find a career opportunity that was congruent with the lifestyle that I wanted to live. And how to do that? Well, that leads me to the third and final question. How do you get what you want? Once you know your ideal lifestyle, you can find a career that supports it. You probably already know what that lifestyle is. In fact, that lifestyle is probably very similar to the one that I just told you about. The thing is, you need clarity on how to get there. And that's what I'm going to show you right now. So let's go to part 2. Building a freedom business that supports this lifestyle. A few days after I declined my job offer, I was walking through the streets of London and this question struck me. Why was I able to say no to my job when all of my other finance friends who I knew hated the jobs that they were in just as much as me said yes to their return offer? What made me different from them? And generally speaking, why do people live lives and work in jobs that they are not fulfilled by when they have the choice not to? Here's the truth. The reason why I was able to take a massive risk and go after my dreams was because I saw something that my coworkers didn't. I knew that social media was the path to freedom. I knew that if I could just grow an audience of people who liked my work, I could make a full-time income from anywhere in the world while doing what I wanted, whenever I wanted. For me, that was the dream. While everyone was chasing money, status, and power, I would be able to build an audience online so that I could have even bigger opportunities later on. Having an audience online will fuel every other dream and aspiration that you have. And in 2024, as much as people will debate if it's too late or not to get started, this is still the case. Now, let me walk you through a couple of examples on how my life has completely changed because of that decision I made, because of the foresight that I had to notice that jumping in to social media was going to get me all these opportunities later on. Let's start with Lewis Howes. Lewis Howes is one of my biggest inspirations. I listened to his podcast so much when I was trying to get out of a rut in life. One day I'm making content, I'm living my life, I wake up, I'm in Japan, and I get a notification on my phone saying Lewis Howes followed you. Lewis Howes followed me, the guy that I've been inspired by for so long. He follows me, and not only does he follow me, he messages me and he says, I love what you're creating, Will. Keep inspiring. To hear that from someone that you idolize, that you listen to so much, to have that person discover what you're doing and then reach out and tell you that they're inspired by you is insane. That there's no way that would happen if you didn't build an audience online. With my audience here, there have been people who have built art projects about what I do to show support. I've gotten comments from my brother, tells me that your videos made me cry. It was the best YouTube video. You know, sometimes I say this, your videos are good because you're my brother, but that was actually incredible. To make my brother proud is incredible. That's a huge feeling for me, and it makes me tear up every time I see this. I get comments from people, from subscribers who say, dude, I was sitting in my room, I heard a video of yours playing from my dad's phone. You made it to the old man WhatsApp universe. They share videos like crazy. To have multiple generations listening to your videos, learning from your videos, that's crazy. And of course, I was featured on a billboard in Times Square. Times Square, New York. I used to visit there as a kid every single year with my family. And then now I'm on the billboard of the same places I was visiting. That's just one of 2 reasons why entrepreneurship is so incredible, and online entrepreneurship specifically. If you look at the statistics, entrepreneurship is actually the greatest investment that you can make for yourself. So let's look quickly at the average rates of return on investment in some of the most commonly invested instruments. Number one, the stock market. The average ROI, average return on investment you get by investing in the stock market is about 8 to 11% per year. In real estate, it's about the same thing, about 8.6% annually. If you were to invest your money in bonds for a year, you would probably make about 3 to 4% on that. However, if you went into entrepreneurship, here's what would happen. At the beginning, not much. It's like a hockey stick. You're probably losing a bit of money, you're spending a lot of time, there isn't too much magic happening, but all of a sudden, if you stick with it, boom, the magic happens and the growth is exponential. And guess what? Unlike the other instruments you can invest in, entrepreneurship has no cap. There is no limit to the amount that you can make and the amount that you can progress. That's telling me that the truth is clear. The creator economy is just getting started, and it's the best way to create financial, time, and location freedom in the modern age. If I can honestly give you my one piece of advice right now, it would be to go all in with content creation like I did a few years ago. Go all in with that, with social media, with audience building, in 2024. This leads me to the last point. And actually, if you don't have this point, it's likely that you'll never achieve any of your dreams, regardless of what they are. Part 3 is to join a community of like-minded people. I want to tell you a story that changed my perspective on life. Last year, I was in Okinawa, Japan, filming a YouTube video. I was walking through the town when I noticed a group of old Japanese men sitting on the grass in a park. I went up to them and I struck up a conversation, and they told me something that blew my mind. These guys had been friends for over 70 years. When I asked them how that was possible, given the fact that they were all in their 70s and there were like 6 or 7 of them, they said that they were part of something called a moai. A moai is a friendship tradition in Okinawa where groups of friends are created in childhood. This is part of the reason why Okinawa is a blue zone, a region of the world where life expectancy is way higher than average. What does this mean? It means that community is the key to a good life, not just in your health and your well-being, but also in your professional life. The journey is 1,000 times harder when you go at it alone. You'll be faced, regardless, with self-doubt, uncertainty, procrastination, lack of consistency. You'll second guess yourself. You're going to start thinking to yourself, can I really do this? Was this a mistake? Should I have chosen this safe path? These are all concerns that prevent most people from doing anything great in their lives. That's why when I was struggling with making my freedom business a reality, I created my own moai. Me, Stefano, Rachel, Ryan, and Aaron. 5 creators from around the world trying to make things work and supporting each other throughout the process, no matter what. This is why Mr. Beast, the world's most followed creator, credits his dedication and his discipline to a small group of friends that he made when they were all small creators. It's funny, people wonder why they can't seem to make progress year after year when they're going at it alone. The truth is, you become the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with the most. Your social environment directly decides your future. When I was working at the bank, I remember looking around and realizing something terrifying. None of my coworkers shared my dreams or my aspirations. I was surrounded by people who were perfectly okay with working in a job they didn't love for decades. And the scariest part is when I would look at my boss who was sitting 3 seats away from me. He had been working there for 25 years. The only difference between me and him, maybe his desk was a little bigger, he had 1 extra monitor, but him and I still faced the wall, still were in the same room, still had the same working hours, and still had to report to someone else. After 25 years of working in a bank, that's likely what I would end up being. And most of the people I was surrounded by in that bank were completely okay with that vision. As time went on, after having been there for a year and being surrounded by those people in university, I was slowly becoming one of them. Your social environment decides your future. So if I could tell my past self one thing, it would be to join a community of people who are sharing your dreams. Form alliances with people who share the same vision of creating content online, of building a business and living a more fulfilling life. This is how you hack your discipline and you virtually guarantee success for yourself, which leads me to my invitation to you. I want to invite you to something I've been working on for years, something that I wish I had when I was starting out on my own journey. I want to invite you to Sprouht University. Sprouht University is our online education platform that will give you the tools, the mindset, and the community to live a more fulfilling life. To be specific, we will teach you how to craft your ideal lifestyle, how to create a freedom business that directly supports that ideal lifestyle, and then how to grow and scale that freedom business to a point where it gives you complete time, location, and financial freedom. On top of that, we're we're simultaneously going to put you into a community of people from all over the world of all ages who are on the same mission as you and are going to support you in making your dreams into your reality. Think of this as your new degree, your next degree to graduate into the new world. Now, as a student, here's what you will get. I like to call it the 3 C's: courses, coaching, and community. Every month, we are going to release a new course that will bring you one step closer to living a more fulfilling life. These courses will be created by myself and from professionals around the world who have done the work that you are hoping to do. I've interviewed hundreds of people around the world, and a lot of the people I've interviewed are living the life all of us are dreaming of living. Those people are coming on to Sprought University and becoming coaches with me to have multiple live calls every week to help guide you and hold your hand to bring you closer down your ideal path. And then you get access into our exclusive community with people from all over the world, from all places, who are on the same mission as you and are going to help you achieve your dreams. On top of that, I want to give you a lot of exclusive bonuses. So there will be hundreds of worksheets of guides, papers, exercises, activities for you to use that are going to help you document your journey and actually do the work. Joining Sprought University will also get you a lot of interesting perks. You'll be first in line to join our live retreats and events, and you will also get exclusive discounts to all of our products on top of products and services from companies who have tools that are going to help you build your freedom business and build your ideal lifestyle. And last but not least, the MOI. Anybody who joins Sprought University will be automatically placed into a MOI with people who are on the same mission as you from your neck of the woods in the world and are going to help you no matter what, set goals, achieve them, track them, and make your dreams your reality. My big vision is to change the way people are educated. If everyone knew who they were, what they wanted, and how to get what they wanted, a lot of us would be living a more fulfilling life. And it pains me to see incredible people with incredible potential living lives that are just okay and not being happy about that, but not knowing what to do about it either. So here's my promise to you. If you join Sprought University, I will make sure that you have all the resources, the community, and you develop the mindset in order to change your life, to truly live a more fulfilling life. If you're ready to join, then DM me on Instagram. The link is in the description. DM me on Instagram. I'm in. Listen, I did not hack the system. I did not have any creator friends when I started. Nobody I had ever personally known or heard of had dabbled in social media. I was incredibly introverted. The thought of putting myself on camera the way I am doing right now scared me and made me sweat profusely. In fact, it still is making me sweat right now. And I started with 0 followers and 0 skills. But here I am. I'm here, and hundreds of other people that I've helped are there too. And you can be the next one, 100% guaranteed. We are going through a very careful process to accept people. And in fact, there are only a very limited amount of spots to Sprought University. And we make sure to carefully vet everybody that is accepted. If in the end it's not for you, you go through the program, you get accepted, and you realize after a few weeks you're not enjoying this and it's not for you, we'll give you your money back, no problem. I want this to be something that is extremely profitable for you, and if it's not working out, happy to make sure that you don't suffer the consequences financially. That being said, if you're ready to enroll, DM me, I'm in, on Instagram, and let's get this thing going. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm Will, and as always, it's a mindset. See you next week.